I was reborn in Journey to the West as the tiger at the foot of the Five-Finger Mountain, all to avoid being turned into a tiger skin loincloth by Sun Wukong. I started desperately trying to remember the plot of Journey to the West, hoping to find a chance to survive. Right now, there are still 100 days until the Tang monk reaches the Five-Finger Mountain. And as soon as he gets here, the monkey will be freed, and I'll be the first one he sacrifices. What's even more hopeless is that the Tang monk already has Arhats secretly protecting him. I don't even have a chance to send him to his maker along the way. So, I set my sights on the Five-Finger Mountain itself. It was faintly glowing with Buddhist light, but as a 21st century tiger, I had to at least try to become brothers with the great sage. I used every ounce of my strength, and climbed halfway up the mountain. Suddenly, from behind a large rock not too far away, voice called out, "Hey, little tiger over there. Come here, quick." At first, I stumbled back a few steps in fear, but I quickly came to my senses and scrambled over towards that big rock. Behind the large rock was a small cave, and a monkey's head poked out, looking at me. I lifted my tiger paw and cautiously took a few steps forward. "Are you the one who wreaked havoc in the Heavenly Palace, stole the immortal pills, and pilfered the peaches of immortality? And declared that even the Jade Emperor's throne should be taken in turns, saying, 'Next year, it's my turn'? Are you that Sun Wukong?" Hearing my words, the monkey seemed a little embarrassed. "Heh, that's all in the past. Let's not talk about it." I froze for a moment. It was only then that I confirmed this was really the world of Journey to the West. That means I can definitely cultivate immortal arts, too. I don't have to just be a wild animal. After calming myself down, I tentatively asked, "Great Sage, how long have you been trapped under this mountain of 5 elements?" "I've been trapped here for almost 500 years. Sun Wukong sighed, looking up at the drifting clouds on the horizon. Look of longing crossed his face. 500 years. I was startled. Doesn't that mean Sun Wukong is about to be freed? That the journey to the west is about to begin? Suddenly, I remembered, it seemed the first thing Sun Wukong did after escaping the mountain was kill a tiger that tried to eat the Tang monk. I looked down at myself. It looked like I was the only tiger for miles around. It couldn't be me, could it? The more I thought about it, the more likely it seemed. I cursed my rotten luck. Am I really going to become the tiger skin loincloth that Sun Wukong wears? "Hey, little tiger, how about you do me a favor?" Seeing me spacing out again, Sun Wukong started to get impatient. "What?" I turned my head blankly to look at the great sage, equal to heaven. "Sun Wukong needs my help with something? You see, since I was trapped here 500 years ago, I haven't eaten a single thing. Could you help me pick one of those peaches over there to eat?" "How about it?" Sun Wukong looked at the nearby peach tree growing from a crack in the mountain, laden with fruit, a look of longing on his face. "Of course, whatever the great sage commands. I'd do it even if it meant climbing a mountain of swords or jumping into a wok of boiling oil. Sun Wukong has been my idol since I was a kid. Getting to do something for my idol now is more than I could ever ask for." I reached out with my tiger paw and grabbed a peach. I brought it to Sun Wukong's lips. Right now, his entire body was pinned beneath the mountain, with only his head sticking out. So I held up my paw, serving my idol with all my heart. Delicious, delicious. In all my 500 years, I've never had a peach this good. "Great sage, would you like another? If you want one, I'll go pick another for you," I said, eagerly wagging my tiger tail, looking like a total bootlicker. On one hand, Sun Wukong was genuinely my idol. On the other hand, my future path to immortality was now in Sun Wukong's hands. Maybe if Sun Wukong was in a good mood, with his grand and heroic personality, he might even teach me something like the 72 transformations. That would be a massive score. Sun Wukong licked his lips, clearly longing for more, but in the end, he just shook his head. He sized me up and said, "Little tiger, in these 500 years, aside from those bald monks and nuns, I've never seen anyone else. So, how did you get up here?" "I climbed up," I said, holding out my tiger paw, and pointing in the direction I'd come from, speaking with a bit of confusion. "And nothing blocked your path?" Sun Wukong asked, still skeptical. I scratched my tiger head, a little confused as to why Sun Wukong would ask that. Suddenly, a golden light shot from Sun Wukong's eyes, enveloping me. In an instant, I felt as if he could see right through me. Terrified, I instinctively took a couple of steps back. You haven't cultivated any demonic power?" Sun Wukong asked, his eyes wide as he stared at me. "I don't think so," I replied, unsure. "I've only been in this journey to the West World for 3 days. How could I have cultivated any demonic power? No wonder. To think I'd stumble upon an ordinary tiger that's gained sentience. This is a stroke of luck for me." Sun Wukong was ecstatic. "Little tiger, do you want to learn how to become a demon?" Sun Wukong turned his head, his face beaming with excitement. I nodded eagerly. This was more than I could have ever hoped for. Still, I asked doubtfully, "Great sage, are you really willing to teach me cultivation techniques? To take me as your disciple? Disciple? Master? Forget all that, I can't stand that stuff. From now on, you'll be my brother. And stop with the great sage, this and great sage, that. Just call me monkey bro." "Monkey bro? You'd really teach me?" I asked, pressing my advantage, shamelessly sidling up closer to Sun Wukong. "Enough with all the questions. You're starting to annoy me. Keep it up and I really won't teach you," Sun Wukong said, seeing that my questions were endless. And he became a bit annoyed. "No, don't say that, monkey bro. I'll do whatever you say. Your little brother here will listen to whatever you command." I hastily picked another peach and held it up to Sun Wukong's lips, saying this with a very eager expression. Sun Wukong didn't waste any more time. He immediately began reciting a cultivation technique. It made my head spin. I couldn't help it. The technique was so profound and mystical that I truly didn't understand it at all. Seeing the look on my face, Sun Wukong let out a chuckle. "Don't worry, this art of 9 revolutions is pretty deep. When my master taught it to me, I was just as confused as you are now. For now, just focus on memorizing it all. Then I'll explain it to you bit by bit." "Monkey bro, so this is the art of 9 revolutions?" My heart leapt with joy. The art of 9 revolutions. That's the most powerful body cultivation art in Taoism, like Sun Wukong's heavenly form in Journey to the West. Copper skin and iron bones, impervious to both water and fire. These are all signs of mastering the 8-9 arcane art. Of course, it has to be the 8-9 arcane art. "It's not like old Sun here knows any other techniques," Sun Wukong said, rolling his eyes. My heart leapt with joy. To think I'd gotten my hands on the 8-9 arcane art so easily. And I'd even become sworn brothers with Sun Wukong. Could there be anything better in this world? 5 days later, at the foot of the 5 Elements mountain, the monkey looked up, asking me impatiently over and over how it was going. "Have you memorized it yet?" I opened my eyes, a glint of happiness in my eyes. I said, "Brother monkey, I've memorized every word. So now it's time to actually start cultivating, right? What's the rush? First, go pick a peach for old Sun here." I immediately ran over and picked a peach. Brought it over to Sun Wukong. "It's not for me to eat. You eat it." Sun Wukong struggled to tear his eyes away from the peach. He shouted at me, "Me? Eat it?" I didn't understand what Sun Wukong meant. Was Brother Monkey telling me to become a vegetarian? This peach grew from a pit of the peaches of immortality that old Sun here brought down from the heavenly court. Even though it's been 500 years and most of its spiritual energy is gone, it's still a peach of immortality. You can decide for yourself what to do with it. This peach had such an incredible origin. I swallowed hard. My eyes lit up as I stared at the immortal peach. I couldn't care less about being polite anymore. I wolfed down the entire peach. But remember, as soon as you finish eating, immediately start circulating the 8-9 arcane art to refine its essence into chi. Don't you dare waste the essence inside that peach, Sun Wukong warned, shaking his head from the side. "Brother monkey, I'll remember. Don't you worry." Just then, my body finally began to react. I could feel waves of warmth surging through my body, rushing this way and that. My body felt like it was swelling up from the inside. I couldn't pay attention to anything else. I hastily began to cultivate according to the methods of the 8-9 arcane art. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. I never left the 5-fingered mountain again, diligently cultivating every day under Sun Wukong's guidance. The immortal peach tree bore fruit 3 times, but Sun Wukong didn't eat a single one. Every single one of those immortal peaches went into my stomach, and the results were naturally remarkable. In 3 years, I had already reached the 9th level of chi refining. I was just 1 step away from achieving foundation establishment, but in Sun Wukong's eyes, my progress was as slow as a turtle's crawl. Of course, I couldn't help it. I was just an ordinary tiger. Without Sun Wukong's guidance and the power of the immortal peaches, to reach this stage would have probably taken me 100 years. But Sun Wukong was a spirit monkey, born of heaven and earth. He was even conceived from the stone that mended the heavens, born already at the level of a demon king. Then, after training with a renowned master for 7 years, he became a demon immortal. There was simply no comparison. The night gradually grew darker. Looking at me as I slept soundly, Sun Wukong raised his head. He watched a shooting star streak across the horizon, a golden light flickering in his eyes. He muttered to himself, "It's been 500 years. This time, old Sun here absolutely cannot lose." The next morning, when I groggily woke up, I looked up at the sky and thought, "Oh no, I actually woke up late this morning." "Brother monkey, you didn't even wake me up," I grumbled. By now, I had gotten very casual with Sun Wukong, but when I turned my head, I froze. Sun Wukong was looking at me with a serious expression. Usually, Brother Monkey was always joking around. This was the first time I'd ever seen him look so serious. You have to leave. It'll be dangerous if you stay here any longer. Sun Wukong said with a grave expression. Dangerous? You mean Zan? Cold glint flashed in my eyes as I said, Brother Monkey, why don't we wait for Zan Shao to come over? And I'll eat him in one bite. You dare harm him? And I'll skin that tiger hide right off of you. Sun Wukong threatened me, half joking, half serious. I suddenly felt a chill all over, and my tiger fur stood on end. It seems my brother in Journey to the West, who got skinned, didn't suffer for nothing. This monkey has had his eye on it for a long time. Don't you see I'm already wearing the golden fillet? If you eat him, then I won't live for much longer either. The golden fillet is not just a simple control treasure, Sun Wukong said, looking meaningfully at the fillet on his head. I was startled, but I was also starting to understand. Brother Monkey, then why do you still wear this golden fillet? If you didn't wear it, I'm afraid I'd be pinned down here for all of eternity. Sun Wukong narrowed his eyes, a cold glint flashing within them. It's just a mere golden fillet. Once I, your old friend, get out, I'll naturally find a way to deal with it. I fell silent. Indeed, no king would willingly accept defeat and be imprisoned here until they grew old. Even if the hope was slim, Sun Wukong still chose to resist. However, judging by the progression of Journey to the West, Sun Wukong's resistance was undoubtedly a failure. I sighed. Of course, there was no way I could explain these things to Sun Wukong. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but clench my fists. At that moment, I yearned for power more than anything, the power to change heaven and earth. After 3 years together, we had formed an unbreakable bond of friendship. Besides, Sun Wukong was forthright and generous, and he gave me hope when I was at my most desperate. Naturally, I didn't want to see the hero in my heart be tormented by the Buddhist order until he became that timid, cowering figure. Brother Monkey, what can I do to help you? Don't be polite, just say it. Of course there's something for you to do, but you're still too weak right now. After you leave the mountain, focus on getting as strong as you can. Sun Wukong rolled his eyes. Hearing Sun Wukong's words, my face fell. Having cultivated for 3 years, I knew all too well. I'm no prodigy like Brother Monkey. My eyes darted around. I suddenly leaned in close to Sun Wukong. Brother Monkey, look how weak I am. What if I get eaten by a demon as soon as I leave the mountain? Why don't you teach me another skill? Hey, so you've still got your eyes on my skills, huh? Sun Wukong chuckled. Fine, you know, kid, I've taken a liking to you. I'll pass the 72 transformations on to you as well. I nodded, overjoyed. I immediately put on a shameless grin and sidled up to him, saying, Brother Monkey, how about you teach me the somersault cloud, too? Hey, kid, don't be so greedy. The somersault cloud is my own exclusive divine ability. I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to learn it. Sun Wukong said, shaking his head. I'm not being greedy. Since Sun Wukong said so, I focused on learning the 72 transformations from him. In the blink of an eye, another 3 months went by, and Wang Hu finally fully grasped the 72 transformations. Of course, he was still a long way from being able to use it as freely as Sun Wukong. These 72 transformations could be considered a divine ability, but also a method for cultivating one's primordial spirit. When cultivated to its peak, not only could you change your own form at will, you could even transform the heavens and the earth. 3 days later, on Five Finger Mountain. The time has finally come to leave, Wang Hu. There are 3 things I need you to do for me if you can. I know it's asking a lot of you, but I have no other choice. If you really can't do it, your monkey bro won't blame you for anything, Sun Wukong said, casually winking at Wang Hu. He spoke as if it was no big deal, but Wang Hu's expression was extremely solemn. Don't worry, monkey bro. Just tell me what they are. As long as I, Wang Hu, am still breathing, I will definitely get it done for you. That's my brother. First, I need you to go to West Aparagodonia and find my elder brother, the Bull Demon King. Give these to him. Sun Wukong opened his mouth and spat. He spat out a tiny fan, and along with it, a small jade slip. Second, pluck a golden hair from the back of my neck. Take it deep inside the water curtain cave. You just have to give it to her. Third, if, after you've finished those 2 things, my journey to the west hasn't begun yet, then come back here and help me put on a good show. For all the gods and Buddhas of the heavens to see. A cold glint flashed in Sun Wukong's eyes. After he finished speaking, he let out a mischievous laugh, then paused for a moment to think. Sun Wukong added, I don't really have anything valuable to give you. Take these 3 life-saving hairs. Each one contains one of my special techniques. They might just help you out in a time of crisis. Alright then, go on down the mountain now. Wang Hu took one last, lingering look around the place he had stayed for 3 years, and then bowed deeply to Sun Wukong. Monkey bro, I'm leaving now. Don't you worry, when you get out of here, I'll definitely be waiting for you on the outside. The journey ahead will be difficult, Be careful, Sun Wukong said with a smile. Don't worry, monkey bro. I've survived a great disaster before. It'll be hard for me to die from now on. With a rather arrogant-sounding roar, Wang Hu kicked off with both feet. Leaving the place where he had stayed for 3 years, a giant tiger, over 10 feet long, leapt fiercely down from the mountain. With a loud thud, kicking up a huge cloud of dust, Wang Hu looked back one last time at Five Elements Mountain. Wang Hu knew Sun Wukong was surely still watching him, hoping he would be able to complete the tasks he was given. Hoping that he could alter the course of his journey to the west. Monkey Bro had been incredibly good to him. With determination in his eyes, Wang Hu silently made a vow. He would definitely rescue him from the schemes of the Western Heaven. But for now, the most urgent task was to increase his own power first. Shaking his head, Wang Hu set off toward his old cave. After crossing through a dense jungle, Wang Hu finally arrived beside a small cave. The cave was very deep. The tiger that lived here before had not yet gained true sentience. It was still in an ignorant state and had rarely explored the depths of the cave. However, in the tiger's few memories, there was something deep inside this cave that it desperately desired. If Wang Hu hadn't transmigrated into its body, it probably would have gone in sooner or later. The cave was a bit deeper than Wang Hu had anticipated, but he could clearly feel that all around him. The spiritual energy of the world was growing richer. This made him a little excited. There really is a treasure in here. The pitch-black passage suddenly brightened. Hanging from the ceiling of the cave were countless night-luminescent pearls of various sizes. Even these night-luminescent pearls were faintly emitting spiritual energy. Wang Hu stared greedily at these pearls. However, for him right now, the unknown treasure was still more alluring. After running for another 15 minutes, Wang Hu finally arrived in a large chamber. The ceiling here was covered with even more night-luminescent pearls, especially the one in the center, which was nearly the size of a person's head. What a treasure! Wang Hu gazed at the room full of night-luminescent pearls. His tiger jaw dropped, and drool nearly dripped from his mouth. Suddenly, he turned his head and was immediately captivated by something else. It was a crystalline, azure jade stone, carved in the shape of a crouching tiger. Even in the glow of all the pearls, it was still incredibly eye-catching, especially the spiritual energy it emitted. The energy was so dense it was almost forming a mist. Now this is the real treasure. Wang Hu's eyes bulged. This time, he really did start drooling. Kicking off with his hind legs, he pounced fiercely toward the azure jade stone. Suddenly, a flash of azure light flickered on the crouching tiger statue and shot toward Wang Hu's head. Not good, Wang Hu cried out in alarm. He quickly raised his tiger paw and swatted at the azure light. The azure light was fast, but in the blink of an eye, it was swatted back by Wang Hu's paw. As his body landed on the ground, Wang Hu lifted a paw to wipe away his cold sweat. That was terrifying. He turned his head to look. The azure light that Wang Hu had slapped back onto the statue just shook its head and raised itself up again. It was a small, azure-colored snake, looking to be less than half a meter long. Moreover, its cultivation level wasn't as high as Wang Hu's, only at the 5th level of qi refining. However, its strength was immense. If Wang Hu hadn't been practicing the Taoist, top-tier body refinement technique, the 8-9 arcane art, he probably wouldn't have been able to stop it just now. Hiss! A sharp hissing sound echoed. It was the little azure snake, issuing a warning to Wang Hu. Its body was slightly coiled. Clearly, if Wang Hu made any sudden moves, the little azure snake would undoubtedly attack again. Stop, stop, Wang Hu said hurriedly. Fellow Taoist azure snake, this is my home. You've been occupying my home for so long, so why are you trying to attack me now that the owner has returned? Even for a demon, you can't be this unreasonable, can you? The little azure snake suddenly froze. It had apparently understood Wang Hu's words and was suddenly at a loss. In its limited memory, ownership of treasures was always decided by fighting. It had never encountered a demon who tried to reason before fighting. But then again, it had only been here for a few years. It had only gained sentience through cultivation. Its memory was practically a blank slate. Seeing that Wang Hu wanted to reason things out, it lowered its offensive stance. It hissed twice at Wang Hu. Wang Hu pricked up his tiger ears. He immediately understood what the little snake was saying. It had been here for 3 years. This place had long ago become its territory, and it was telling Wang Hu to leave at once. Wang Hu was secretly delighted. I was just away for the past 3 years because I had some business to attend to. Look at that cyan jade stone. It's shaped like a tiger. Besides, I've already bonded with it. If you don't believe me, just let me go over and try it out. The little green snake immediately fell into hesitation again. Tilting its head, the snake kept glancing back and forth between the cyan jade stone and Wang Hu, clearly trying to determine if he was telling the truth. If that cyan stone doesn't react in a moment, I'll leave right away and will absolutely not disturb your cultivation again. Wang Hu coaxed again. Ever since he had entered this hall, he had felt a mysterious call emanating from that cyan jade stone. He believed that as long as he got close to the cyan jade stone, something unexpected was bound to happen. The little green snake was internally conflicted. If it had been a demon weaker than itself, it would have charged forward and bit it without a second thought. But as it happened, Wang Hu's cultivation was higher than its own. A fight would only result in both of them being badly injured. It might as well let him try, because it believed that even though the cyan jade stone was shaped like a tiger, it didn't belong to Wang Hu. There was absolutely none of his scent on it. Besides, what kind of demon would abandon such a precious cultivation treasure and leave for 3 whole years? In any case, the little green snake didn't believe him. Hiss hiss. The little green snake gave 2 more low, warning hisses and slowly backed away from the cyan jade stone. Wang Hu was instantly overjoyed and began to approach it cautiously. At the same time, he began to focus his mind, trying to connect with that mysterious summoning force. Wang Hu's massive tiger body slowly neared the cyan jade stone. The closer he got, the more he could feel the sense of closeness coming from the stone, as if an elder was watching him with their own caring gaze. Wang Hu unconsciously lowered his tiger head, letting out a low roar toward the cyan jade stone. This was a unique custom among the tiger clan, a way of showing respect to the clan's elders. As Wang Hu's deep roar echoed, the entire cyan jade stone suddenly radiated a dazzling cyan light. With a crack, tooth from the crouching tiger's mouth suddenly broke off and flew in front of Wang Hu. At the same time, a stream of information began to flood into Wang Hu's mind. 7 Fiends Bone Formula, a cultivation technique of the ancient Black Tiger clan. Gather endless baleful chi into one's body, and forge the 7 Fiends' divine weapons. Forge indestructible Vajra bones. At the same time, the cyan crouching tiger suddenly emitted an ink-black light. Threads of inky vein energy, along with immense spiritual energy from heaven and earth, surged directly into Wang Hu's body. Instantly, an ink-colored spiritual mist completely enveloped his entire body. The little green snake watched from the side, its eyes red with envy. If she had known this would be the outcome, she would have fought to the death rather than let this damn tiger get near the cyan jade stone. But now, a faint, hazy cyan glow surrounding Wang Hu made her terrified to make a single rash move. Her keen intuition for danger told her that if she got any closer, her soul would surely be scattered. But with the cyan jade stone now pouring out endless spiritual energy, she was naturally unwilling to miss out. A flash of cyan light appeared, and the little green snake's small body coiled up next to the cyan jade stone, frantically absorbing the spiritual energy that was escaping from it. Endless, vast mountains stretched as far as the eye could see. On a giant boulder in the middle of a wide river, a colossal black tiger with a head the size of a small mountain lay between 2 peaks. Suddenly, it snapped its head up and let out an earth-shattering roar. The river's waves surged to the heavens, and its waters churned violently against the banks. An invisible shockwave radiated out from the black tiger, spreading toward the surrounding mountains. Everywhere it passed, boulders crumbled and giant trees snapped in two. What a mess. The tiger clan's innate ability, the tiger's roar, is actually this terrifying. Wang Hu's consciousness floated in the air, looking down at the giant black tiger below. He couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. He had actually awakened it during his foundation establishment. The tiger clan's innate ability. The countless lights flashing in the cave gradually faded away. A magnificent tiger with black and yellow stripes slowly stood up and shook its massive head. This was, of course, Wang Hu. A month had passed since he received the Black Tiger's inheritance. Not only did he obtain the Black Tiger clan's top-tier technique, the 7 Fiends Bone Formula, but by relying on the immense spiritual energy in the Cyan Jade and the Black Tiger bloodline power within it, he broke through to the foundation establishment stage in one go. Looking down at his body, Wang Hu was even more satisfied. His body was more than twice its previous size. His body, nearly 30 feet long, was like a small mountain. With a single thought, his massive tiger body instantly shrank to the size of a normal tiger. His coat of black and yellow stripes had a strange metallic sheen to it. This tiger pelt of mine must look amazing now. If I were in a pack of tigers, I'd definitely charm tens of thousands of young ladies. Ahem, I mean, tens of thousands of she-tigers. Wang Hu couldn't help but think smugly. Suddenly, his ears twitched. A sound came from the side. Wang Hu turned his head. He immediately spotted the little green snake, which looked like it was facing a great enemy. The little green snake had now broken through to the 7th level of chi refining. It had clearly benefited from his power too, but right now, it was staring at Wang Hu as if facing a formidable foe. Its small body was tensed up. Clearly, the pressure Wang Hu was now giving off was immense. Wang Hu was a little surprised, thinking to himself, I wonder what kind of rare species this little snake is. Leveled up 2 tiers so quickly, and its body even got a little smaller. It could even give Wang Hu a slight sense of danger. You have to remember, there was a difference of several levels between them. However, Wang Hu had no intention of fighting the little green snake to the death. His lifelong principle was that peace is paramount. Why fight when you can drink and chat happily? Besides, he was a civilized tiger from the 21st century, wasn't he? I told you a long time ago that this cyan jade was mine, right? Look, I've even reached Foundation establishment now. Wang Hu bared his teeth in a grin, revealing a mouthful of fangs. Then he turned his head back to study the cyan jade and the tiger tooth in his paw. Seeing that Wang Hu had no intention of killing it, the little green snake's tense body immediately relaxed. But it didn't leave. It craned its head, watching Wang Hu curiously. It wanted to know what this seemingly special tiger was planning to do. Traces of spiritual energy were constantly leaking from the surface of the cyan jade, but this energy, less than half a meter from the jade, was blocked by a layer of cyan light and reabsorbed back into the stone. Wang Hu moved his head closer to observe and discovered a heart in the center of the cyan jade. Getting even closer, he could even hear the faint beating of that heart. This discovery made him jump. Could the heart inside still be alive? But Wang Hu quickly calmed down. Even if it was alive, it was one of his ancestors. What was there to be afraid of? He turned his head and started studying the tiger tooth again. A trace of spiritual energy swirled around the tooth. He was instantly delighted. This tiger tooth was actually a storage space. There were 3 items inside: a large white bone saber, a small flag with a black tiger painted on it, and a map. Wang Hu took an instant liking to the white bone saber. It was exquisitely crafted, and the entire blade emitted a faint fluorescent glow. It looked extraordinary, when he could transform into a human. Perfect as a weapon, Wang Hu thought gleefully. The other small flag with a black tiger on it didn't react no matter what Wang Hu did. It must be because my power is too weak. I should be able to command it once I'm strong enough. Wang Hu cheerfully put the flag away and then looked at the map. It seemed to be a treasure map, but it wasn't complete. It looked like half of it was missing. Wang Hu's interest immediately faded. He had an urgent task given to him by Brother Monkey. After finishing his inspection, Wang Hu's gaze fell upon the luminous pearls hanging high up in the hall. These are all treasures, I can't just leave them behind. The little green snake in the corner below witnessed a rather comical scene. A tiger, with its butt in the air, pried off the luminous pearls one by one. He didn't even spare the ones on the tunnel walls. Half an hour later, Wang Hu walked out of the cave feeling satisfied, touching a bone tooth necklace hanging on his neck. He grinned from ear to ear. The hall was quite impressive. Hey, little green snake, why aren't you leaving? Following me all this time? Are you awestruck by my magnificent presence? Are you ready to submit to me, your great king? Wang Hu turned his head to look at the little green snake that had been following him. He said cockily, hiss, hiss, hiss. The little green snake rolled its eyes in a very human-like way and let out a low hissing sound. In your dreams, that greenstone crouching tiger belongs to my ancestor. How could I let you have it? Wang Hu rolled his eyes. He was a bit speechless at this delusional little green snake. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The little green snake continued to argue its case. Might makes right, understand? Besides, my ancestor's heart is in there. Giving it to you would be betraying my ancestors, wouldn't it? It's non-negotiable. Wang Hu was unmoved, shaking his tiger head. He walked forward slowly, swinging his massive tiger rear. Actually, he could already transform into a monster with a human body and a tiger's head, but Wang Hu thought that would be way too ugly. So he gave up the idea. The little green snake tilted its head, watching the retreating Wang Hu. It didn't sense any malice or killing intent from Wang Hu. It hissed twice, then turned into a green shadow and followed him. Hey, you little green snake, you sure are persistent, aren't you? How about this? You can stick with me, and we can use it together when I cultivate. Wang Hu asked tentatively, seeing the little green snake had caught up again. Hiss, hiss, hiss. A series of hisses rang out. Below him, the little green snake nodded its head furiously. That sounds great. Come on up, I'll carry you. Wang Hu was overjoyed. He hadn't expected to recruit a follower right after leaving home. This little green snake is clearly a rare species with the primeval ink bloodline. It will surely be a huge help. Little green snake, from now on, we're brothers. Just stick with your big bro and don't worry about a thing. As long as I, Wang Hu, have a bite to eat, I'll never let you go hungry. Hee hee, hiss, hiss. A dissatisfied hiss sounded from behind him. Wang Hu froze, saying with some surprise, so you're a female, huh? Well, this is, ahem. Wang Hu coughed lightly. But I couldn't help but start fantasizing. On TV, when snake spirits turn human, they're always drop-dead gorgeous. If I start training her now, then when the time comes, I'll be able to. An hour later, Wang Hu stood at the peak of a small mountain, looking towards the five-finger mountain in the distance. Brother Monkey, I have to go now. To West Aparagodonia to find the Bull Demon King. Don't worry, I'll definitely accomplish the mission you gave me. And I'll help you escape the Buddha's grasp. Wang Hu lowered his tiger head towards Five-Finger Mountain, and let out a low roar as a farewell. Then he turned and darted into the dense forest in the distance. Far below at Five-Finger Mountain, Sun Wukong also heard the tiger's roar, and immediately understood what he meant. Ha ha ha, having made brothers like you in this life, I, old Sun, haven't lived in vain. Ha ha, with a great laugh, Wang Hu set off on his own journey to the west. His cultivation level was too low right now, so he could only travel on his four paws. Having read Journey to the West, Wang Hu knew full well the dangers and obstacles along this path. With his weak foundation establishment Cultivation, he could be swallowed whole by some demon king at any moment. But this was a journey he had to take. After all, Sun Wukong was his idol, and he had helped him when he was at his lowest, most helpless point. All the peaches of immortality from the past 3 years went into Wang Hu's belly. Although he never said anything, he had always kept this kindness in his heart. The little green snake on his back tilted her head, looking at Wang Hu, whose demeanor seemed a bit different at this moment. Slowly, the look in her eyes began to change too. Time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, half a month went by. Wang Hu traveled by day, and at night, he'd find a place to hide and cultivate on the green jade with the little green snake. He traveled and improved his cultivation at the same time, being extremely cautious. After all, this road to the west was full of wild mountains and desolate ridges, surely hiding countless demons. And those who dared to cause trouble for Tang Sanzeng were at least at the peak spirit transformation stage, or top-tier spirit transformation demon kings. Just one of them appearing would be a fatal threat. Little Ching, go find some rabbits to eat. I'm exhausted. After another day of travel, as dusk approached, Wang Hu plopped down under a large pine tree and spoke to the little green snake on his shoulder. The little green snake hissed a couple of times and wriggled her body, looking very reluctant. Little Ching, I've been carrying you around all day, running from east to west. I'm so tired I could just die. And you're not even willing to find me something to eat? Have you no conscience? Wang Hu yelled in a theatrical voice. Hiss hiss hiss. The little green snake swayed her body, gave Wang Hu a look, and obediently went off to hunt. He. As if I can't handle a little thing like you, Wang Hu chuckled mischievously. After half a month together, he had come to understand little Ching's personality very well. The little one responds to persuasion, not force. Big brother, look what this is. A tiger. Just as Wang Hu was about to take a nap, a strange, excited laugh suddenly came from the dense forest not far away. Wang Hu was startled. He raised his huge tiger head and looked towards the dense forest in the distance. A group of more than 10 people emerged from the forest in a single file, holding steel sabers in their hands, slowly approaching Wang Hu. These people were dressed in a very distinctive way. Wang Hu could tell at a glance that this was a group of robbers, or perhaps mountain bandits. In any case, they didn't look like good people. As he thought about this, Wang Hu couldn't help but feel a little frustrated. Aren't robbers supposed to rob passersby? Why were they trying to rob a tiger? Aren't tigers supposed to be the ones who eat people? Boss, come quick, look at this dumb-looking tiger. Ha ha ha, group of robbers burst out laughing. They made way for a one-eyed man, treating him like a king. Hey, this tiger's not bad, it'll definitely sell for a good price. The one-eyed man's face lit up when he saw Wang Hu, his single eye shining brightly. Wang Hu sized up the big man from head to toe. He immediately understood, a third-level chi refiner. No wonder he dares to take on a tiger, the king of all beasts. Bored out of his mind, he let out a yawn. Wang Hu narrowed his eyes slightly, feeling a little sleepy. I could flatten this whole group with a single swat. I really can't muster any desire to fight. Look, he's scared, and he still dares to provoke our boss? What a reckless little thing. Boss, finish him off. The crowd of robbers got fired up, waving their steel blades and cheering for the one-eyed man. Wang Hu was annoyed. He had only yawned. Don't these people know how to read a room? Can't we all just get along? The one-eyed man formed hand seals and began chanting. Go, little cutie. With an angry shout from the one-eyed man, a small sword gleaming with red light suddenly shot out from his hand. The sword slashed toward Wang Hu's head. Clang! A metallic clang rang out as the small sword was sent flying. Wang Hu's head was completely unharmed. Not a single strand of his fur had fallen. Wang Hu shook his head and raised a paw to rub his forehead. He stared at the one-eyed man with his big, innocent eyes. That's impossible, the one-eyed man cried out in alarm. His single eye was bulging so wide it looked like it was about to pop out of its socket. "Go!" the one-eyed man roared in a mix of shock and anger. He spat a mouthful of essence blood onto the small sword, which immediately began to hum. Its speed instantly doubled, and it shot toward Wang Hu as a streak of dark light. Wang Hu was startled. "Do you really have to go all out like this?" It's not like he had some deep-seated grudge against these robbers. Couldn't they all just sit down and have a cup of tea? Why did they have to resort to all this fighting? But he still didn't make a move. He just kept his head tilted, looking innocently at the one-eyed man. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of metal on metal rang out against Wang Hu's body again. A few minutes later, the one-eyed man stared at the completely unharmed Wang Hu, his face pale and his eyes filled with terror. After attacking with all his might, he hadn't even managed to dislodge a single strand of the tiger's fur. "Grandpa Tiger, this humble one has elders to care for and children to raise. Please, spare my life. I'll never dare to do this again." With a clatter, the one-eyed man threw down his small sword and dropped to his knees with a thud. He started kowtowing to Wang Hu with loud thuds. When the henchmen saw their own boss kneeling, a series of clanging sounds immediately rang out as steel blades dropped all over the ground. Everyone dropped to their knees, their wails and pleas for mercy echoing throughout the entire forest. Wang Hu looked at the crowd kneeling before him, a surge of pride swelling in his heart. He thought to himself, this 8-9 arcane art is truly incredible. I only channeled it slightly, and these guys can't even break through my defense. Swoosh! Just then, a streak of green light flashed in the distance. Before Wang Hu could even utter a word, the one-eyed brute in front of him suddenly went rigid and collapsed lifelessly to the ground. Seeing their leader fall in the blink of an eye, the surrounding bandits were terrified. Forgetting everything else, they scrambled and scattered in every direction. The little green snake was incredibly fast, darting back and forth through the forest. In the blink of an eye, another 7 or 8 of the remaining bandits had fallen, leaving only 2 fleeing into the distance. The little green snake's body shimmered, transforming into a streak of green light as it shot towards the last 2 men. Wang Hu's outstretched paw froze in midair. This little green snake is way too violent. Why does it just kill everyone on sight? I'll definitely have to guide it properly from now on. As a demon of the new era, how can it just resort to fighting and killing all the time? Looking at all the bodies on the ground, Wang Hu's expression shifted, and he walked over to the one-eyed man's body. He picked up the small sword the man had been wielding earlier. Although it only looked like a low-grade spiritual treasure, and its quality was terrible, it was still a spiritual weapon, wasn't it? Wang Hu chuckled as he stored the small sword away. Then, his eyes darted around. He then gathered up all the steel knives scattered on the ground and put them inside his storage tiger fang. They had to be worth something. Hey, every little bit counts. Wang Hu searched the bodies one more time, checking for any other treasures. He sighed in frustration. These bandits are just too poor. Not even a single piece of silver, Wang Hu grumbled under his breath. Only then did he set off on all fours, chasing after the little green snake. Boom! Just then, the ground in the distance began to shake violently. Immediately after, an earth-shattering dragon's roar echoed across the sky, and Wang Hu's expression changed drastically. His tiger form instantly doubled in size, demonic energy swirling around his entire body. Like a raging gale, he shot off in the direction the little green snake had gone, chasing after it at incredible speed. As the saying goes, dragons follow clouds, and wind follows the tiger. When Wang Hu fully revealed his true form, and began to run at full speed, it was as if a hurricane was howling around him. Waves of demonic energy rolled off him. He really looked like a major villain about to make his grand entrance. But Wang Hu had no time to admire the huge commotion he was causing. He was overcome with anxiety. That dragon's roar from earlier still had his heart pounding in fear. Wang Hu burst out of the forest, his tiger eyes staring straight ahead. Before him was a deep ravine with a clear, deep pool of water. Strange and exotic flowers and plants bloomed all around, and the spiritual energy was incredibly dense. But what made Wang Hu tremble was the giant white dragon floating above the ravine. So it really is the little white dragon of Eagle Grief Stream. Wang Hu muttered to himself, a chill running through his body. This guy seems to like swallowing his prey whole. Isn't that what happened to Tang Sanzang's original white horse? Just as Wang Hu burst out of the trees, the little white dragon floating in the sky snapped its head around. Its enormous head slowly approached Wang Hu, a flash of pleasant surprise in its eyes. Especially its mouth. Wang Hu could clearly see drool trickling down from it. The enormous dragon's head slowly approached, its powerful breath blasting Wang Hu in the face. It made all 4 of his tiger paws feel weak, and his body was completely paralyzed. The remaining bandits in the distance had long since vanished. The little green snake lay on the ground like a limp noodle. It struggled, trying to get up, but the intense pressure from the dragon clan made its body completely unresponsive. Its own body, nearly 30 feet long, which it was so proud of, was like an ant next to the 300-foot-long giant dragon. Of course, in the dragon's eyes, he was just a pile of food. Is this the end? Wang Fu screamed frantically in his mind. This guy in front of me. Even if he hasn't reached the realm of earthly immortals, he must be incredibly close. I'm afraid that with just one puff of his dragon breath, I'll be a complete goner. You little tiger, you look quite sturdy. To end up in the stomach of me, the third prince of the West Sea, can be considered a blessing from your past life. The little dragon let out a roar towards the sky. Laughing loudly, it opened its huge, dark maw and lunged forward to devour Wang Hu. What the hell? You've got to be kidding me. I'm a new age demon from the 21st century. How can I just die in the stomach of a puny worm like you? Wang Hu muttered to himself, his eyes darting around frantically. He was clearly trying to think of an escape plan. Seeing the massive mouth just inches away, an idea suddenly struck Wang Hu, and he yelled out desperately, I was sent by Guanyin Bodhisattva. You can't eat me. Wang Hu thought quickly on his feet. At this critical moment, his only choice was to use the Bodhisattva as a shield. Little tiger, what did you say? The Guanyin Bodhisattva of the South Sea? The giant white dragon shook its enormous head, looking at Wang Hu with great confusion. It finally withdrew the terrifying dragon's might that filled the air. The little green snake suddenly felt its body become light, hissed angrily at the dragon, then transformed into a streak of green light and shot onto Wang Hu's body. Being stared at from inches away by those enormous dragon eyes, Wang Hu's mouth suddenly felt dry. It's like this. I was originally an ordinary tiger on Five Finger Mountain. Fortunately, I was enlightened by the Bodhisattva and was able to cultivate into a demon. Before she left, the Bodhisattva entrusted me to tell the third prince that the scripture seeker will arrive in 7 years. In the meantime, she wants you to cause less trouble. Just wait quietly for the scripture seeker's arrival. Amitabha, may the Bodhisattva protect me. After saying all this, he even put on a show, lifting a front paw and chanting a Buddhist prayer towards the west. The dragon stared suspiciously at Wang Hu. He couldn't help it, the matter of the journey to the west was of great importance to him. Moreover, for a tiger like Wang Hu, who couldn't even take human form, to possess such high spiritual intelligence, this made him have to be cautious. Thinking of this, the dragon immediately dropped his contemptuous attitude. His vast divine sense discreetly scanned Wang Hu's entire body. This moment, Wang Hu had already concealed all his demonic energy and was circulating the 8-9 arcane art. Instantly, specks of spiritual light began to overflow from his body. This 8-9 arcane art was the highest level Taoist technique. It was a technique that even the dragon himself was not qualified to practice. Seeing those specks of spiritual light, the dragon was secretly alarmed. This little tiger, whose cultivation level was so-so, seemed to be far from simple. Poof! A cloud of smoke rose. The giant white dragon in the sky suddenly disappeared. In its place, a handsome young man in white robes appeared before Wang Hu. My friend, you are too kind. Thank you for delivering the Bodhisattva's message. I will certainly obey the Bodhisattva's decree. From now on, I will cultivate peacefully here in Eagle Grief Stream and cause less trouble. The little white dragon shed his earlier arrogant demeanor, model. He also hurriedly copied what Wang Hu had just done, pressing his palms together and bowing towards the west. This little white dragon is certainly handsome, but he's a little too handsome, isn't he? He looks just like a pretty lady. No wonder even his wife ran off with the 9-headed insect. She was probably just jealous of how pretty he is, Wang Hu guessed maliciously to himself. But he didn't let any of it show on his face. Seeing that the danger had finally passed, Wang Fu pretended to wipe imaginary sweat from his forehead, saying with a frightened expression, Third prince, you really scared me just now. I was almost eaten by you. The little white dragon was instantly embarrassed when he heard this. He had just sworn to commit fewer sins. Why are you bringing up the past? But he knew all too well that the king is easy to deal with, but his minions are a pain. Right now, Wang Fu was basically working for Guanyin Bodhisattva. When he went back and saw the Bodhisattva, he mentioned that I just casually eat people. There's no guarantee Guanyin would still let me join the pilgrimage to the west. This was a position his father and 3 uncles had worked so hard to get for him. Thinking of this, he immediately put on a big smile, walked over to Wang Hu, and said in a low voice, Brother Tiger, I'm so sorry for frightening you earlier. How about this? Later, I'll host a banquet for you at my underwater palace to help you calm your nerves. Hearing there was food to be had, Wang Hu's interest was piqued. This little white dragon was an immortal of the dragon clan. Any banquet he hosted was bound to be extraordinary. There would surely be plenty of spirit fruits and immortal wine. But, he was impersonating Guanyin's messenger. If he accidentally let it slip, it would be a disaster. Thinking of this, Wang Hu immediately shook his tiger head like a rattledrum and said with a troubled expression, "I've long heard that the Dragon Clan has many treasures, and I've always wanted to see them for myself. However, I haven't finished the task the Bodhisattva assigned me. There are still a few of the scripture seeker's disciples I need to notify. This humble messenger dare not linger." As the third prince of the West Sea, the little white dragon was clearly a bit of a pampered young master, and he understood at a glance. The meaning behind Wang Hu's words was obvious. "I won't go to the banquet. Just give me a couple of treasures, and we'll call it even. Since Brother Tiger has important business from the Bodhisattva, this little dragon won't stand in your way. But please, Brother Tiger, you must accept this small token of my sincerity." As he spoke, the little white dragon took off a jade pendant he was wearing and respectfully presented it to Wang Hu. Wang Hu was secretly delighted. He thought to himself, this little white dragon really gets it. He's got a bright future. After pretending to refuse for a moment, he finally accepted the jade pendant. He wasn't afraid of the little white dragon discovering anything. The flash of light from his tiger claw, he stored the jade pendant in his tiger tooth storage space. The two exchanged a few more pleasantries before Wang Hu finally started walking with a swagger. He swaggered away from Eagle Sorrow Gorge, his tiger tail swaying. The little white dragon watched in the direction Wang Hu had disappeared. A glint appeared in his eyes. When Wang Hu had used that storage tiger tooth, it had completely dispelled his doubts. This little tiger's background must be extraordinary. But thinking about his jade pendant, the little white dragon felt a pang of regret. That was an immortal treasure, and he had just given it away himself. The little white dragon cursed himself for being so gluttonous. If only he had stayed hidden in Eagle Sorrow Gorge and not come out. But now, look at him, tricked by a little tiger. Dragon's roar echoed from afar, followed by a loud splash. The little white dragon transformed into his true white dragon form and plunged headfirst into Eagle Sorrow Gorge. He had already made up his mind. Until the scripture seeker arrived, he wouldn't come out again, not even once. After swaggering for more than 10 li, Wang Hu finally let out a long sigh of relief and flopped down on the ground. Man, that scared me. Wiping the non-existent cold sweat from his forehead, Wang Hu felt his whole body go limp. He collapsed limply onto the ground. He had only spoken a few words with the little dragon, but it felt as if he had just fought a long and arduous battle. But soon, he became secretly pleased with himself, marveling that his acting skills were truly award-winning. To think he'd managed to trick a legendary little dragon out of a jade pendant. He really couldn't help but be impressed with himself. Thinking of the jade pendant, Wang Hu immediately perked up again. He opened his storage tiger tooth and took out the jade pendant. The pendant looked extremely exquisite. 9 small, golden dragons were intricately carved all over it. He tried to channel his spiritual energy into it. The pendant suddenly erupted in a brilliant light, and a golden gleam flashed. A golden shield instantly formed around Wang Hu, with the silhouette of a golden dragon continuously moving across it. It was as if it was protecting him. Wang Hu immediately started to drool. This is a defensive 9 dragons jade pendant. With my spiritual energy so low right now, I can only activate 1 dragon image. But there are a total of 9 dragon images on it. In the future, if I ever get into a fight, I'll just have to stand there and activate the 9 dragons jade pendant and instantly be surrounded by 9 dragons. How incredibly cool would that be? Thinking of this, Wang Hu couldn't help but chuckle foolishly to himself. He fiddled with the pendant, unable to put it down, letting the single dragon image continuously circle around him. Hiss, hiss. Suddenly, the little green snake on his back began to hiss in displeasure. She was essentially asking Wang Hu why he would accept something from that nasty dragon. Wang Hu was stunned for a moment, sighing internally at the little green snake's naivety. If I took his stuff, he wouldn't suspect anything. But if I hadn't, and what if that little dragon had decided to get nasty? I'd probably be dragon dung by now. Of course, I couldn't explain all this to the little green snake. As a female spirit, it's better to be a little naive. It's precisely because he's a bad dragon that we have to take things from him, Wang Hu said with righteous conviction. He changed the subject, saying, and another thing, why did you just go and attack him earlier? You should at least ask if they have any hidden treasure or something, you know. As a demon with ambition, life isn't just about fighting and killing, you know. The little green snake's attention was successfully diverted. Her snake head immediately hung low, looking as if she knew she was in the wrong. Wang Hu lectured for a good while before stopping, though he still wasn't quite finished. He was confident that with his continued guidance, the little green snake would surely become just like him. A great monster of the new era. They passed through Eagle's Sorrow Ravine without any further danger. The tiger and the snake continued on their journey west. After this dangerous encounter, Wang Hu had learned to be more careful. He tried his best to recall the plot of Journey to the West. If Wang Hu remembered correctly, the next ordeal in Journey to the West should be the elder Jinshi of the Guanyin Monastery. That old guy is a ruthless one, too. He was willing to burn Tang Sanzing alive just for a cassock. It seemed it would be best for him to be careful. They walked for another 3 days. Sure enough, from deep in the mountains ahead, the faint sound of a bell could be heard. It seemed his guess was correct. The Guanyin Monastery was just ahead. Wang Hu found a random cave nearby to hide in. He took the cyan jade from his storage tiger tooth and began to cultivate with little Qing. It was still early, so Wang Hu planned to wait until nightfall to get closer and scout out the situation. According to Journey to the West, this elder Jinshi had connections with powerful demon kings like the Black Bear Spirit, and even traded with each other. But Wang Hu sensed that something was strange. Elder Jinshi's cultivation level must be much lower than these demon kings, and the demon clan is a race that respects strength above all. Why would they be willing to trade with him? There must be an unknown secret behind this. Wang Hu felt that if he didn't figure it out and just rashly barged into their sphere of influence, he probably wouldn't even know how he died. The night grew darker. Wang Hu transformed into a tiger demon with a human body and a tiger's head, and stealthily crept toward the Guanyin Monastery. This was the first time he'd ever taken on such a form. He took one look and immediately grimaced. Compared to my original form, this is really much uglier. But there was no other way right now. He tiptoed towards the Guanyin Monastery's entrance. Just as he got close, Wang Hu's ears twitched. A burst of noise came from the monastery's courtyard gate. Wang Hu moved closer to take a look. He was momentarily stunned. At the temple gate, there were over 20 lesser demons, at the same foundation establishment stage as himself, all holding large and small packages in their hands. They were queuing quietly, but the few monks guarding the main gate seemed to turn a blind eye. Each of them stood there with their eyes closed, muttering something under their breath. It was unclear what they were saying to themselves. The night grew deeper and darker. At midnight, the monastery gates suddenly swung open. The group of demons presented their invitation cards and filed in one by one. Wang Hu waited patiently. Sure enough, in less than 15 minutes, a demon came out of the monastery, looking overjoyed. The package in its hands was gone, replaced by a small, exquisitely crafted box. Wang Hu's eyes darted around. He waited a little longer, then picked out a tiger spirit and secretly followed it. In his mind, since they were both tigers, they could be considered kin. Even if things turned sour later, they probably wouldn't come to blows, right? It was always best to handle things peacefully. This had always been Wang Hu's principle. That tiger spirit seemed to be in a good mood, humming a little tune as it walked through the forest. Wang Hu found a suitable moment and suddenly stepped out from the shadows. Hey, brother tiger, wait up. Wang Hu had expected the other to notice him, but unexpectedly, that guy completely ignored the voice behind him. He just kept humming his tune and walking on. Left with no choice, Wang Hu had to shout. At the same time, he silently cursed. Where are your basic demon survival instincts? How can your awareness of danger be so low? The tiger in front heard the shout and turned its head in confusion. It frowned as it looked at this kinsman running over. What kind of demon are you? How come I've never seen you before? The tiger spirit asked with a frown. Big brother tiger, I gained sentience while cultivating in Eagle Sorrow Gorge. But there's an evil dragon there that almost ate me several times. It's too dangerous over there. So I left that place and came here. I didn't expect to run into you, big brother tiger, as soon as I got here. Hearing this, the tiger spirit nodded and said, I know that dragon. It's been there for hundreds of years. I heard it's an immortal from the heavenly mountains who was banished down here. The tiger spirit, with a know-it-all expression, looked Wang Hu up and down and continued. Little tiger, your cultivation is not bad. Come with me, I'll report to our great king, and from now on, you can hang with me. Huh? Wang Hu was stunned. He successfully recruited me just like that? Isn't this a little too easy? Don't worry, on our Black Tiger Mountain, I'm one of the top demons. You see, the great king entrusts me with a monthly trip to the Guanyin Monastery to trade for elixirs. That shows how much the great king trusts me. The tiger demon proudly showed off the small box in his hand. He was clearly showing off his power to Wang Hu. The implication was obvious. Stick with me, and you'll be fine. Wang Hu said nothing. He couldn't help but marvel at how simple-minded the demons were. They trusted him so easily. No wonder they've been kept down by the humans in these deep mountains and old forests. Big brother, I've heard some of the lesser demons mention Black Wind Mountain, and the great king Black Bear Demon. I wonder if he's around here too? Wang Hu asked after walking with the tiger demon for a bit, shamelessly playing the part of a suck-up. Of course, the kings of our Black Tiger Mountain, as well as Black Wind Mountain and Black Snake Mountain, the kings of the 4 mountains are sworn brothers. The Great King Black Bear of Black Wind Mountain is the eldest. Our Great Tiger King is the second oldest, and the Great Snake King is the third. The Great Fox King is the fourth. Wang Hu was stunned for a moment. Why do they all start with the word black? He could understand a black snake or a black tiger. But what the heck was a black snake and a black fox? Wang Hu grumbled to himself. But he didn't let any of this show on his face, instead continuing to ask about the various powers nearby. And for more information on the Guanyin monastery, the tiger demon held nothing back, spilling everything he knew without a second thought. Once he felt he'd asked enough, an idea suddenly struck Wang Hu. He clutched his stomach and said, "Big brother, I've suddenly got a stomachache. You go on ahead, I'll catch up to you in a bit." "Alright, go on, brother. When you get to Black Tiger Mountain, just mention my name, Watu Hu." The tiger demon really was as simple as he seemed. He just patted Wang Hu's shoulder, and left humming a little tune without saying anything else. Good heavens, are all demons really this naive? Wang Hu couldn't help but be surprised. However, he was also taken aback by what he'd learned about the demon factions in the Black Wind Mountain area, north of the Guanyin Monastery, starting from the closest Black Wind Mountain. There were as many as 68 shapeshifting demon kings at the Golden Core level or above. These demons had formed more than 10 factions of varying sizes, and they controlled almost the entirety of the Luofeng mountain range. The Guanyin Monastery, on the other hand, was the place where all the demon factions in the Luofeng mountain range came to trade, although the presiding elder Jinshi was only at the late foundation establishment stage. He represented the interests of the entire cultivation world of the Shanglin Kingdom. Wang Hu stood there, thinking. It seemed the demon race wasn't as simple as he had first thought. The tiger demon's lack of caution was likely due to a couple of things. On one hand, the things he was asking about were basically open secrets in this area. On the other hand, this was probably the demon race's own unique way of recruiting underlings. After all, a newly transformed, unenlightened demon is like a newborn child, ignorant and clueless. They weren't like Wang Hu, who possessed a mature soul before he had even begun cultivating. Wang Hu continued to wander the area, then returned to the Guanyin monastery to keep watch for most of the night. Seeing that nothing was happening, he went back to his cave. For the next half a month, Wang Hu continued to gather intelligence in the area. The information he gathered was basically the same as what he'd learned on the first day. This made Wang Hu frown. He probably wouldn't be able to advance any further. These 68 cave demon kings and more than 10 factions were tangled together in a complex web. Once he went deeper into the Luofeng mountain range, "I'm afraid I'll be discovered and caught soon," Wang Hu thought, his face grim. "I'm no Sun Wukong, a natural-born battle saint ape, who could destroy everything with ease using just a staff." Thinking of this, Wang Hu suddenly felt a bit puzzled. Since a complete chain of interests has already formed here, would people like Elder Jinshi and the Black Bear Demon really hold a grudge against Sun Wukong over a single Kasaya? I'm afraid someone must have wanted to use Sun Wukong's combat prowess to break the balance here. Recalling the name of this place, the Guanyin Zen Monastery, and that the Black Bear Demon was ultimately taken away by Guanyin, Wang Hu suddenly had a theory. A chill suddenly ran down Wang Hu's spine. He shook his head. "These matters are too far removed from me. Even if I knew something, I probably couldn't change anything. I should just focus on finding a way to get through here." As Wang Hu was walking back, his ears suddenly twitched. He stopped abruptly. He thought he heard some commotion up ahead. With a shake of his body, Wang Hu transformed into his tiger form. Using the dense jungle as cover, he slowly approached the cave where he lived. Quick, catch it. This is an ancient, rare green snake, and that piece of green jade is obviously a treasure. We have to get them." A young man was standing at the entrance of Wang Hu's cave. His face flushed with excitement as he directed a group of people to fight Shao Qing inside the cave. Wang Hu's eyes narrowed. The young man was in the early stage of foundation establishment, but it seemed he couldn't quite control his spiritual energy yet, so he must have just broken through. However, Wang Hu's attention was focused on the old man beside the youth. The old man was dressed in gray. His hair and beard were all white, and his face was deeply wrinkled. He looked ancient, but his body emanated a very dense spiritual pressure. With just one glance, Wang Hu could tell this was a human cultivator in the late stage of foundation establishment. The other thing that caught Wang Hu's eye was the giant, glowing net held by the qi refining cultivators inside. It was restricting Shao Qing's movements. Otherwise, with Shao Qing's speed, those qi refining cultivators would be no match for her. An old man in the late foundation establishment stage acting as a guard. For a guy who reached foundation establishment so young, he must have an extraordinary background. But upon seeing Shao Qing in the cave, dripping with fresh blood, Wang Hu's gaze turned icy for the first time. "If others don't bother me, then I'll value peace." But if others provoke me, then don't blame me for being ruthless. This was Wang Hu's code of conduct. He lowered his tiger body, stalking toward the old man inch by inch. His eyes showed no hint of emotion. Although this was his first time hunting, the instincts in his bloodline were telling him how to land a fatal blow. Young master, allow this old servant to handle it. We need to finish this quickly. We're too close to the fallen wind mountain range. If the demon clan finds this spirit snake, it will undoubtedly cause trouble. The old man's brow furrowed slightly as he watched them struggle to capture Xiaoqing inside. Alright, but whatever you do, don't kill it. The young man hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement. The old man bowed respectfully and was about to step into the cave. Just then, an ear-splitting tiger's roar suddenly erupted, accompanied by a howling gale. Everyone felt as if a ferocious tiger was roaring incessantly right in their ears. The few qi refining cultivators inside, with their low cultivation levels, immediately staggered. Their mouths, eyes, and noses all started to bleed. The old man, who had just taken a step, stumbled. For a moment, a hint of confusion appeared in his eyes. Who? Just then, with a howl of wind, Wang Hu's massive tiger form lunged at the old man. He opened his cavernous jaws and lunged for the old man's neck. The young man beside the elder turned pale with shock. With a flick of his wrist, a small blue sword shot towards Wang Hu's neck. Crunch. Paying no mind to the sword, Wang Hu bit down and snapped the old man's neck. He couldn't afford to be careless. If he let this late-stage Foundation establishment elder recover from his innate ability, the tiger's roar, then he would be in grave danger. At the same time, the young man's sword left a gash over 3 inches deep on his neck. Wang Hu roared in pain, his huge tail whipping violently towards the young man. The young man was about to control the blue sword for another attack, but the tail came at him like a steel whip. He had only just reached the Foundation establishment realm. Sensing the immense power in that tail, his face changed. He threw himself to the side, and before Wang Hu could pursue, he raised a hand, revealing a cyan talisman, and wind instantly gathered at his feet. In the blink of an eye, he vanished. Wang Hu reluctantly halted his pursuit. He glanced at his wound. The gash was deep enough to see bone and was pouring out black blood. Wang Hu couldn't help but grimace in pain. Clang, clang, clang. Just then, urgent bells began to toll from the Guanyin Zen temple. Wang Hu's expression grew tense. The bells were likely related to his earlier roar. Xiaoqing, are you alright? Wang Hu hurried into the cave. He saw that although the little green snake was covered in fresh, dark blood, it had no life-threatening wounds. The demon race has incredibly strong regenerative abilities. For instance, the wounds on Xiaoqing's body had already started to scar over. The ground was littered with bodies. These men were first stunned by Wang Hu's tiger's roar, then subjected to Xiaoqing's ferocious attacks. They were all completely dead. Hiss, hiss. Xiaoqing joyfully leapt onto Wang Hu. But when it saw the wound on his neck, it immediately began to hiss with concern. It's nothing, just a scratch. It'll be fine soon. Wang Hu managed a grin, his paws already busy as he spoke. With a sweep of his paw, he first collected the cyan jade stones they used for their cultivation. His tiger eyes shifted, and his gaze fell upon the glowing giant net used to capture Xiaoqing. He took that as well. Time was short, so Wang Hu quickly searched the bodies. Finding nothing of value, he had to give up. However, he did find a precious seal on the Foundation establishment elder. The seal was engraved with a chain of mountains and was clearly an extraordinary item. Wang Hu's face lit up with a grin. In the distance, the bells from the Guanyin Zen temple rang even more frantically. Wang Hu looked up, his pupils shrinking. Several miles away, 2 figures were speeding towards him on beams of light. Anyone who could travel on light had to be at least at the core formation realm. Wang Hu was no match for them. Naturally, the best course of action was to flee. He reverted to his enormous tiger form. Pounding his 4 paws against the ground, Wang Hu rode the wind and began to race towards the fallen wind mountain range. That was the demon race's territory. As long as he could make it inside, the 2 core formation cultivators behind him probably wouldn't dare to enter so recklessly. Worst case scenario, he could always go and seek refuge with the flowery-headed tiger. He would hide out there for a while and figure things out. Oh no, that demon tiger is escaping to the fallen wind mountain range. Elder Zhang, Elder Lin, quickly, stop him. An anxious voice called out from behind. Wang Hu looked back, only to see the young boy who had just fled in defeat. He was now chasing him again, riding a small chariot. Wang Hu was instantly furious. This guy is as persistent as a ghost. If I get my hands on him later, I'll make him wish he could neither live nor die, Wang Hu muttered to himself. A chariot that can be driven by a Foundation establishment cultivator. What a fine item. But in the next moment, his expression changed drastically. The two streaks of light in the sky suddenly doubled their speed. In the blink of an eye, they closed in right behind Wang Hu. Of the two, an old man with a wrinkled face was the most eager, forming a hand seal for spell. Instantly, a streak of white sword light shot out with a whoosh, stabbing straight at Wang Hu's back. A circular golden light screen lit up around Wang Hu. Dragon shadow violently collided with the sword light. Clang, clang. The old man's white sword light was actually blocked, but the golden light screen around Wang Hu's body also shattered into pieces. The dragon shadow then vanished without a trace. Of course, Wang Hu was not unscathed. He tumbled head over heels several times before crashing to the ground. He shook his somewhat dizzy tiger head. This was, of course, Wang Hu activating his 9 Dragons Jade Pendant to block the attack, but the result made him grimace. It couldn't be helped, the power gap between them was too great. He didn't have the slightest chance to escape. Realizing this, Wang Hu's eyes darted, and he decided not to run anymore. He turned his head, his eyes shifting rapidly as he looked at the 2 core formation cultivators in the sky, as well as the young boy driving the chariot. The other one, the core formation cultivator in black, was just about to press his advantage and attack, when he saw that Wang Hu had actually stopped. Has he surrendered? All the better. The black-robed core formation cultivator calmly put away his flying sword and, along with the elderly core formation cultivator, moved to flank him, completely blocking Wang Hu's escape route. I give up. So, what do you want? Wang Hu squatted on the ground brazenly, as if he had nothing to lose. His tiger tail swept back and forth. Demon tiger, put this on. Come back with me to the Zway Palace. From now on, you will be my mount. The young boy on the chariot condescendingly descended to a position above Wang Hu. He reached out, tossed down a beast taming ring, and spoke as if it were a matter of course. Wang Hu rolled his eyes. You tell me to wear it, so I should just wear it? Wouldn't wearing this make me a slave? A cold glint flashed in his eyes. His eyes darted about as he considered a way to escape. Demon Tiger, this is His Highness the Crown Prince of the Shanglin Kingdom. He is currently cultivating the wondrous arts of immortality in our Zway sect and is a prodigy destined to ascend to the immortal realm. Letting you be his mount is an honor for you. Don't be ungrateful. The black-robed core formation cultivator's voice boomed, and Wang Hu subconsciously started to put the beast taming ring on his neck. But at the last moment, Wang Hu reacted. That voice clearly contained the black-robed cultivator's subtle word spell, compelling him to agree. Alright, then, Wang Hu sneered. The flash of light from his hand, the beast taming ring instantly vanished without a trace. He had stored it in his storage tiger fang. However, I have another treasure right here. Who should I give it to? Hearing the word, treasure, the 3 in the sky were momentarily stunned. The young boy's eyes lit up as he immediately remembered the cyan jade stone from before. He completely overlooked the fact that Wang Hu had put away the beast taming ring, although it wasn't as if he lacked treasures. But what you get for yourself definitely has a different meaning than what an elder gives you. The black-robed cultivator glanced at Wang Hu and roared, You demonic tiger, you really don't know your place. Should the treasure go to His Highness the Crown Prince, or to you? I think this treasure is a better fit for you, Wang Hu said with a mischievous grin. With a flick of his tiger paw, a golden light suddenly shot out from his hand, flying towards the black-robed cultivator. Not good, it's a trick. The white-robed golden core elder was extremely vigilant. Seeing the golden light shooting towards them, his face changed drastically, and a white light flashed around his body. He was about to retreat explosively, but the golden light was faster. With a hum in the sky, it suddenly transformed into a staff so massive it blotted out the sun. A shimmering golden hooped rod. Taste a blow from your old man, son. Along with Monkey Bro's incredibly arrogant roar, a massive, glittering golden staff swept violently towards the elder and the black-robed golden core cultivator. Wang Hu had already hit the deck by this point. Hearing Monkey Bro's flashy shout, he instantly broke into a grin. That's Monkey Bro for you. Even a single monkey hair is this badass. The surroundings shook as if the sky were falling and the earth were caving in. Continuous, deafening rumbles echoed. After a good while, Wang Hu finally shook the dust from his head and got to his feet. He looked around and was instantly dumbfounded. There was no trace of the 3 of them. Within a radius of 3 or 4 li, trees were snapped, and mountain peaks had collapsed. It was a scene straight out of the apocalypse. This damage, it's seriously off the charts. Nothing more to say. I bow down to Monkey Bro. Wang Hu was stunned for a moment. But then, with a pained expression, he muttered to himself, I really took a huge loss this time. If I'd known, I would have asked Monkey Bro for a few more hairs. Now I've wasted a life-saving monkey hair, and got nothing out of it. This is a total loss. After sighing for a bit, Wang Hu prepared to leave. This wasn't a place to linger. A commotion this big must have alerted everyone. If I get targeted by a few more core formation experts and have to use another monkey hair, I'll really be coughing up blood. After all, the journey to the west has only just begun, not yet. Suddenly, Wang Hu's body froze. Not far in front of him, the space rippled, the one who had just said he'd take him as a mount. The youth appeared, his face pale. Wang Hu wasn't alarmed, instead, he was delighted. This guy actually got hit by the golden hooped rod and didn't die? He must have some good treasures on him. Maybe I can make up for the loss of a life-saving monkey hair. Without a second thought, Wang Hu opened his tiger jaws wide before the youth could react. In that moment, he bit down on his neck, like carrying a little chick. Carrying him, he quickly disappeared into the mountain forest, running for over 100 li in one go. Finding a hidden little cave, Wang Hu finally stopped. He blocked the entrance with a huge boulder and had Xiao Qing stand guard outside. Only then did he carry the youth deeper into the cave. This guy seems to be someone important. In that case, I'll have to interrogate him thoroughly. I'll try to squeeze him dry until not even a hair is left. Lin Tian slowly opened his eyes, his mind still slightly dazed. I'm finally starting to remember some of what happened before. That club was just too terrifying. He watched with his own eyes as two core formation stage elders from the Zway sect had no chance to even resist. Just a single graze from the club, and their souls were instantly shattered. If it weren't for the substitution talisman my grandfather left me, which activated at the critical moment, I'm afraid I'd be dead by now. Thinking of this, Lin Tian habitually reached out his hand to touch the storage ring on his finger, only to find nothing there. His expression froze. He finally remembered what happened before he passed out. Seems I was captured by that tiger demon. You're awake. Sleep well? At this moment, Wang Hu had transformed into a monster with a human body and a tiger's head. Seeing Lin Tian awake, he bared his tiger fangs and asked with a wide, caring smile. Lin Tian jumped in fright. Although he had seen many beast-headed, human-bodied demons before, those were all from the demon clan tamed by the Zway sect. Suddenly seeing the strangely smiling Wang Hu, he couldn't help but be startled. Wang Hu toyed with Lin Tian's storage ring, his eyes gleaming as he looked at Lin Tian. Start talking. Tell me everything you know. What information? Lin Tian asked, a bit dazed. Wang Hu chuckled sinisterly and extended a finger, which slowly transformed into a tiger's claw, approaching Lin Tian's skin. It drew a dark line across it. I'll ask the questions, and you'll answer, if you dare to lie. The taste of roasted human flesh should be quite good. Wang Hu licked his lips, pretending to drool, as he looked Lin Shan up and down. I'll talk, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'm the crown prince of the Shanglin kingdom. You can't eat me. Lin Shan was on the verge of tears from fear. What's your name? Wang Hu asked in a low voice. Lin Tian. And who are you? Crown prince of Shanglin kingdom, a direct disciple of the Zway sect. What are you doing here? The Zway sect delivered a batch of medicinal pills yesterday to trade with the demon clans. I came here to supervise and guard them, but really, I was just tagging along with a few elders to gain some experience. Lin Tian was so cooperative that even Wang Hu himself was a little surprised. How many elders came in total? What are their cultivation levels? Wang Hu asked after a moment of thought. 3. 2 core formation stage elders were taken out by you earlier. There's also 1 nascent soul stage elder, who is currently at the Guanyin monastery. Wang Hu continued his questioning for a long time. After he had asked about everything he wanted to know, he finally nodded in satisfaction. This kid seems to have a low cultivation level, but he sure knows a lot. He looked at the storage ring in his hand. It had a spiritual sense seal on it from Lin Tian. If one wanted to open it, besides the owner himself, only a powerful expert could forcefully erase the imprint. The latter was something Wang Hu was naturally incapable of doing. But since he had captured the original owner, Wang Hu naturally wouldn't take the long way around. He swept his spiritual sense through the now open storage ring, and Wang Hu's heart filled with delight. As expected of a chosen one, the treasures inside were truly plentiful. With a flash of light in his hand, the storage ring was placed inside his own storage tiger tooth. He patted Lin Tian's shoulder in satisfaction and said, "Not bad. You've got a future, kid." Lin Tian had a mournful look on his face. His body trembled uncontrollably. He was obviously terrified of Wang Hu. At the same time, he thought to himself, the outside world is terrifying. My sect and my home are so much better. So, can you let me go now? Lin Tian asked cautiously. Let you go? Of course not. I've lost so much. I'll definitely be demanding a hefty ransom from your family. Wang Hu shook his massive tiger head. He chuckled sinisterly and placed a sloppily written note in front of Lin Tian, saying, "Sign it. Add your thumbprint. I'm going to collect the money." 4 hours later, Wang Hu knocked Lin Tian unconscious again and left him in the cave. After busying himself outside for the better part of the day, he finally took the note and headed for the Guanyin Zen monastery. He had already found out everything very clearly. The entire demon race of the Fallen Wind Mountain Range did business with the Shanglan Kingdom. Of the human race through the Guanyin Zen monastery, the demons traded heavenly materials and earthly treasures from the mountains for all sorts of things refined by humans, like medicinal pills and talismans. Now that he had captured the prince of the Shanglan Kingdom, he was basically destroying this stable chain of profit. Not only would the humans not let him off the hook, but even the demons would probably have no place for him. Only by causing enough chaos could he find a chance to escape this sphere of influence controlled by both humans and demons. Besides, he had also gotten another shortcut out of Lin Tian, a way to get to West Aparagodonia and find the Bull Demon King. Whoosh! Wang Hu forcefully threw the note into the Guanyin Zen monastery. He and the little green snake then hid in a dense part of the forest, lying in wait. The note Wang Hu wrote was for ransom. The gist of it was for them to bring enough spirit stones to a small hill more than 100 li from here to ransom their Royal Highness, the Prince. The time limit was 4 hours. No waiting after that. Soon, a group of about 100 people rushed out from the Guanyin Zen monastery. The person in the lead had a nascent soul cultivation level, followed by a vast procession of monks from the monastery. Wang Hu even spotted 2 demon kings among the large group. As expected, even knowing this could be a trap, these people still panicked. They even felt it wasn't safe enough. They even invited the demon kings of the Fallen Wind Mountain Range for backup. But they were doomed to never find him. Wang Hu smirked. Seeing that the area had gone quiet, he crouched down and slowly crept into the Guanyin Zen monastery. Perhaps because so many people had been lured away, the place seemed rather deserted. Wang Hu chuckled mischievously. He pulled 2 fire control talismans from his storage space and poured his spiritual energy into them. He threw them forcefully towards one of the temple buildings. With a sudden boom, a huge fire erupted towards the sky. Wang Hu didn't stop moving. He quickly moved on, running to various parts of the Guanyin Zen monastery to set more fires. In an instant, the entire Guanyin Zen monastery was engulfed in flames. Shouts and cries to fight the fire could be heard everywhere. Wang Hu hid in a corner room, smirking coldly as he watched a few busy chi refining stage monks outside. These fire-controlled talismans from Lin Tian's storage ring summoned Samadhi true fire. Wasn't the kind of fire that could be easily put out. Suddenly, Wang Hu's eyes narrowed. He saw an old monk walking past ahead of him, trembling and in a panic. Wang Hu could tell with a single glance that this old monk was at the late stage of foundation establishment. A thought crossed Wang Hu's mind. Could this old monk be the abbot of the Guanyin Zen monastery, the old monk Jinchi? According to Journey to the West, that guy had a collection of many incredible treasures. This old fellow was extremely cautious. Along the way, he kept gathering the panicked monks, and in no time, he was leading over a dozen chi refining stage monks to the outside of a meditation room. You all guard this place well. No one is allowed to enter. Reverend Jinchi saw that this place hadn't been touched by the spirit fire. And only then did he let out a long sigh of relief. Then, as if he remembered something, he hurriedly left again. Wang Hu's eyes darted around. A light flashed in his hand, and a talisman instantly appeared. He stuck it on himself and slowly followed behind Reverend Jinchi. I need to report what's happening here quickly. This whole series of events, it doesn't seem simple at all. Reverend Jinchi muttered to himself. He began to gasp for breath after just a few steps. He clearly looked as if he didn't have much time left. Abbot, something's wrong. A figure suddenly came running from the distance. Reverend Jinchi was startled. It was one of the men he had just assigned to guard the meditation room. He grabbed the man's arm. Reverend Jinchi's voice trembled slightly. What is it? What happened? Oh, nothing. I'm just here to send you on your way. Wang Hu's form shifted in an instant. He transformed back into a monster with the head of a tiger and the body of a man, and thrust the short sword in his hand into Reverend Jinchi's dantian. Spiritual energy surged violently through the dagger and into him. In an instant, Reverend Jinchi was breathless. The bodies of humans are no match for those of demons. They're incredibly fragile, especially during the essence refining stage before one cultivates their spiritual sense. If a demon gets close to them, it's certain death. Reverend, you can rest in peace now. I'll take care of everything here. He gently laid Reverend Jinchi's body on the ground. The talisman on him flashed, and once again, he took on the appearance of Reverend Jinchi and casually strolled back the way he came. Shangguan Yundan was about to go mad with rage. This was already the 3rd place he had investigated. The person who kidnapped the prince was simply toying with them. Every time they arrived at a location, there would be a note telling them the prince was at the next one. However, they had come up empty-handed 3 times. He picked up the note that was sitting on a rock. In a small cave 150 li to the east. The prince has been poisoned, you'd better hurry up. Glaring at the two demon kings behind him, Shangguan Yundan ripped the note to shreds. He frowned and said, "Is this really the work of the demon race? When did demons get so smart? What did you just say? You think old bear here has bad hearing, is that it?" The black bear demon behind him heard this, and was instantly furious. He grabbed his red-tasseled spear and slammed it hard on the ground, ready to fight Shangguan Yundan. But Shangguan Yundan paid him no mind. His figure blurred as he suddenly sped up, heading for the next location indicated on the note. "Hey, Golden Snake, do you really think a demon did this? If it is, then they're a true talent. When we find them, we can't let that human get his hands on them." The black bear demon narrowed his beady eyes and said with a wicked laugh, "Exactly, when the time comes, we'll team up, rescue him, and take him back to our mountain." The two demons cackled sinisterly and transformed into two streams of black smoke, heading forward and chasing after Shangguan Yundan. Meanwhile, the Guanyin monastery was in utter chaos. The monks had been fighting the fire for half the day, but it was having no effect whatsoever. It even seemed to be growing stronger. Wang Hu's figure flickered, and having returned in the form of Reverend Jinchi, he went back to the same meditation room as before, model. Looking at the dozen or so chi refining stage monks in the courtyard, Wang Hu's eyes darted as he said, "All of you, leave first." Although the monks were puzzled why the old abbot had returned after leaving, they didn't dare to be presumptuous and quickly filed out. Wang Hu chuckled sinisterly and walked to the door of the meditation room. He broke the golden lock on the door with extreme ease and walked inside. Instantly, he started drooling again. The entire meditation room was shimmering with golden light. It was filled with the precious glow of all sorts of spirit pills, and a fragrant medicinal scent rushed out from the room. Just by taking one sniff, Wang Hu felt his cultivation level loosen, as if about to break through. Without a second thought, Wang Hu immediately began to frantically gather the pills. He didn't care about their effects or properties, he just stuffed them all into his storage tiger tooth. These pills were arranged very loosely, obviously to allow others to choose more easily. Needless to say, they were definitely prepared for a trade with the Yao race. But now, of course, it was all a windfall for Wang Hu. In less than a quarter of an hour, Wang Hu had swept up all the pills in the entire meditation room. Only then did he close the door with satisfaction, restoring it to its original state. Then he called the monks outside back in and ordered them to continue guarding it. After that, he swaggered away. It wasn't until he was 3 or 4 li from the Guanyin temple that Wang Hu finally tore the talisman off his body and changed back to his own appearance. And at the same time, that high-level illusion talisman turned into a pile of ash and disappeared. It had been used to its limit. Wang Hu felt a pang of regret in his heart. That was the only high-level spiritual talisman in his storage ring. And just like that, it was gone. Heaving a theatrical sigh, Wang Hu secretly made a resolution. "I must speed up my cultivation. Once I step into the chi refining and spirit transformation realm, I should just barely be able to use the 72 transformations." He glanced back at the Guanyin temple, which was now engulfed in flames. Wang Hu chuckled sinisterly again, patting his fully loaded storage tiger tooth. He was instantly satisfied. It's just, he had burned down the Guanyin temple on behalf of Brother Monkey. And also offed Elder Jinchi. He wondered if this would affect the future journey to the west. Ah, who cares? My existence has already affected the original course of the journey to the west. My original fate was to become Brother Monkey's tiger skin loincloth. Transforming into his tiger form, he sprinted towards Shanglin Kingdom. Those people would never imagine that he would have the guts to enter Shanglin Kingdom after burning, killing, and looting here. By then, Master Tiger will be living it up in Shanglin Kingdom, while you guys won't find me even if you turn this mountain range upside down, thinking about how those people would look when they saw the pill room in the temple. The one he had completely looted, their faces contorted with rage. Wang Hu couldn't help but burst out laughing. Early the next morning, after running for a full day and night, Wang Hu finally stopped before a mountain peak. This was already the edge of the forest. Any further, and it would be the real human world. Standing on the summit and gazing down, he saw smoke rising from the chimneys of a small village below. Wang Hu couldn't help but feel a little emotional. No matter what, he still had the soul of a human. But now, there was no way he could ever fit into the human world. Finding a hidden little cave, Wang Hu ducked down and squeezed inside. Then he blocked the entrance again. Once all the preparations were done, he opened his storage tiger tooth and took out a large amount of pills, as well as a storage ring. Wang Hu basically had no idea about the specific effects of these pills, so he didn't dare to consume them recklessly. However, there were 2 types that Wang Hu did recognize, one of which was the most numerous. Xuanling pills, a kind of pill for improving cultivation. Xiao Qing, you're going to have it good from now on. Wang Hu picked up a Xuanling pill and tossed it to the little green snake, while at the same time popping one into his own mouth. It really is crunchy. The pill went down, and instantly, a warm current flowed through his whole body. Wang Hu immediately circulated his 8-9 arcane art to completely convert all of this spiritual energy. It was equivalent to a whole month of his own cultivation. The other type of pill was the shape-shifting pill, and there were quite a few of them. There were as many as 17 pills. The shape-shifting pill allows demons in the Foundation establishment stage to temporarily transform into a human form. Each shape-shifting pill can last for about a month. This was an important asset for Wang Hu to infiltrate the human world. There were over 100 pills left, but these pills made Wang Hu worried. The main problem was, he didn't recognize any of them. For a moment, he felt completely at a loss. Hiss hiss. Just then, Xiao Qing, who had just eaten a Xuanling pill on the side, suddenly started hissing at Wang Hu. Huh? You want to eat these pills? That's fine. Pick whichever one you like and eat it. This was a rare moment of magnanimity from Wang Hu. The little green snake, of course, didn't hold back with Wang Hu. It transformed into a streak of green light and flew towards a green pill that was emitting a vast amount of spiritual energy, swallowing it in one gulp. This pill isn't bad. Spiritual energy is quite dense. Wang Hu nodded. Another fiery red pill went into the little green snake's stomach. The smile on Wang Hu's face instantly stiffened. He wanted to say something, but seeing the floor covered in pills, he swallowed the words on the tip of his tongue. He thought to himself, with Xiao Qing's tiny body, even if I let it eat as much as it wants, how many could it possibly eat? Another 3 pills were eaten by the little green snake. Wang Hu suddenly couldn't sit still anymore. Xiao Qing, can we maybe take it a little easy? Look at that pitch black one you just ate. We don't even know if it's poisonous. The little green snake didn't say anything, just kept its head down and ate intently. Xiao Qing, if you keep eating like this, you're going to get a stomach ache. With a worried look, Wang Hu tried to persuade it earnestly. A quarter of an hour later, Wang Hu looked at the only 2 pills left in his hand. He wanted to cry but had no tears. At this moment, his heart was filled with sorrow. Over 100 pills, and just like that, they were all eaten by this little spendthrift, Xiao Qing. It only left 2 for me. The little green snake patted its belly with satisfaction. It let out a couple of fawning hisses at Wang Hu, then its body tilted to one side. Its whole body curled up into a ball, and all its spiritual energy was drawn inward. And just like that, it fell fast asleep. Annoyed, Wang Hu picked up the little green snake from the ground. He checked its body and confirmed that there was nothing seriously wrong. Only then did he let out a long sigh of relief. He carefully took the 2 remaining pills and put them back into his storage tiger tooth. These 2 pills were, out of this batch of spiritual medicines, the 2 that emitted the strongest fluctuations. Luckily, he was quick-witted and nimble-fingered. Otherwise, they probably would have ended up in Xiao Qing's stomach too. He looked at the sleeping Xiao Qing with lingering fear. Still shaken, Wang Hu then took out the storage ring he got from Lin Tian. It's a good thing Xiao Qing was asleep, otherwise Wang Hu really wouldn't have dared to take it out. A dozen or so mid-rank 5-element spiritual talismans, and a few mid-rank wind-controlled talismans. A high-tier illusory body talisman that Wang Hu had already used, and a once-used immortal tier substitute 3 talisman. That immortal tier substitute 3 talisman in particular made Wang Hu incredibly ecstatic. This was a talisman that could let you escape from Brother Monkey's staff. According to Wang Hu's guess, this substitute 3 talisman could still be used 2 more times. In other words, he had instantly gained 2 extra lives. Besides the talismans, there were quite a few magic treasures as well. Not to mention the mid-grade spirit treasure, the spirit net, there was also a cyan flying sword and a small black shield, both of which were top-grade spirit treasures. In addition to that, there was a set of magic robes. It was actually a set of magic treasure robes, like the one Wang Hu had scammed from the little white dragon. The 9 Dragons Jade Pendant was a defensive type immortal treasure, and for a mere little Foundation establishment stage cultivator like Lin Tian, to have 2 top-tier spirit treasures was already incredible, and he even had a set of magic treasure robes. The only thing that made Wang Hu slightly regretful was that, other than 2 shape-shifting pills in Lin Shan's storage ring, there were no other medicinal pills. And then there was the beast taming ring. Thinking back to the interrogation of Lin Shan in the cave, Wang Hu couldn't help but let out another wicked smile. He wondered if it would give that guy Lin Tian any psychological trauma. With all preparations complete, Wang Hu took a shape-shifting pill. He felt it was best to enter the Shanglin Kingdom as soon as possible. Otherwise, by the time those guys from the Guanyin Zen Temple reacted and set up some kind of regional blockade, he would be in a miserable situation. As the shape-shifting pill entered his stomach, Wang Hu let out a low, deep tiger's roar. He felt as if a ball of fire was burning in his lower abdomen. All the spirit energy in his body rapidly converged towards his dantian. Soon, a bumpy, uneven golden core appeared in Wang Hu's dantian. This was a pseudo-golden core formed by the shapeshifting pill. It was the key to maintaining his human form. Moreover, because he had to maintain a human body, from now on, in his human form, he would only be able to display the strength of the chi refining stage. Wang Hu stood up, looking down at his own bronze-colored skin. His 1.8-meter height and his strong, powerful physique. Added to that were his well-defined and rather handsome facial features. He felt very satisfied. He took out the set of magic robes and put them on. With a single thought from Wang Hu, the robes instantly became a perfect fit. After a moment's thought, Wang Hu also put on the 9 Dragons jade pendant. Instantly, the image of a handsome young man came to life. Paired with a folding fan, he looked just like a genuine young master from a wealthy family. Wang Hu smugly flicked his flowing long hair and put everything into his storage tiger fang. Then he stuffed the little green snake into his robes and swaggered out of the cave. 4 hours later, Wang Hu appeared in a small town called Kaoshan Town. The town didn't look very big, but it was very prosperous. The streets were bustling with people coming and going. It was incredibly lively. Wang Hu swaggered into the crowd. The way he looked now, he seemed just like a scholar who had fallen on hard times. "Waiter, bring me a serving of your best wine and meat," Wang Hu called as he walked into the town's only tavern. He called out to the waiter in a calm voice. "The aroma really is quite something. It's so fragrant, so much more delicious than meat from the modern era." Wang Hu took a bite of the beef, and his mouth was instantly filled with its savory flavor. If this ancient 5-spice beef were in the modern era, it would definitely be a famous, time-honored brand. The wine is good too, Wang Hu thought, inwardly satisfied. This pure, natural wine that hasn't been watered down, it's truly delicious. Just as Wang Hu was intently focused on his fine beef and wine, 2 young men in scholars' robes at the next table glanced at each other and walked over to Wang Hu's table. "Pardon me, brother, are you by any chance a scholar heading to Yingchuan for the exams?" asked a rather wealthy-looking young man from the pair. Wang Hu was taken aback for a moment, but he quickly recovered and said with a smile, "Yes, I am. This humble scholar is Wang Hu. I live in Wanyu village and am indeed preparing for the exams." "That's wonderful. This humble scholar is Zhang Bingsheng, and this gentleman is Lin Xuanhua. We are all on our way to Yingchuan for the exams. The journey ahead is long and arduous. Brother Wang, why don't the 3 of us travel together?" Yingchuan City was the second largest city in the Shanglin Kingdom, about 300 to 400 li from Kaoshan Town. A little over 20 li west of Yingchuan City was the Shangqing River, which was Wang Hu's first destination. From there, he could follow the river downstream, passing through both the Shanglin and Xiaolin kingdoms. He would then reach the Qingshan Kingdom where, according to the information he gathered from Lin Tian, there was a transcontinental teleportation array left over from ancient times. Perhaps then he could find a way to use the array to go directly to the West Niuhe continent. After all, if a mere Foundation establishment stage tiger demon like him were to travel all the way west to find the Bull Demon King, it was truly hard to say when he would ever arrive. Wang Hu mulled this over, bored out of his mind. While the others in the distance weren't paying attention, he popped a mystic spirit pill into his mouth and swallowed it. He leaned against a large green rock, closed his eyes, and began to cultivate. In order not to attract attention, he had agreed back at the tavern in Kaoshan Town to travel with those 2 scholars heading to the exams in Yingchuan. Then, they found a few more scholars, and the group of 7 or 8 hired 2 carriages and set off together. The only thing that frustrated Wang Hu was that they would inevitably stop to admire and critique the scenery. They would compose a few terrible poems, flatter each other, and have a grand old time. They called it communing with nature and relaxing the mind. In a full day, they would only cover 30 to 40 li, and that was on a good day. Sometimes, on difficult mountain roads, they couldn't even cover a dozen li, which made Wang Hu extremely frustrated. Is this really how scholars traveled to exams in ancient times? But he wasn't in a hurry either. He still had over 100 mystic spirit pills in his storage tiger tooth. At his current refining speed of 1 pill per day, he could finish refining them all in about 3 months. By then, he should be able to advance to the mid-foundation establishment stage. Besides, there were still at least 6 or 7 years until Brother Monkey would escape from 5-Finger Mountain. He had plenty of time, so of course it was best to raise his strength first whenever he had the chance. He knew the journey would only get more dangerous the further he went. As evening fell, the group finally ambled into the next post station after a hurried walk of over 10 li on the mountain path. These scholars, who had all been getting drowsy, immediately perked up again. Some called for wine, others ordered dishes. It was a lively scene, especially when they saw that on the other side of the post station sat two exceptionally beautiful and charming young women. The men became as excited as if they'd been shot with adrenaline. Composing poems, writing verses, bragging about their scholarship, they were as busy as bees. There was an odd one out, it had to be Wang Hu. His behavior could be perfectly summed up: if there's food, eat. If there's drink, drink. Don't waste time on idle chatter. Wang Hu thought to himself, you can't blame me. This food is just too delicious. Beggar's chicken, mouth-watering duck, sweet and sour fish. To think these common dishes could be made so deliciously here. Brother Lin, no matter what, you have to let this little brother pay for this meal. Stop trying to get the bill. This is the slightly plump Zhang Bingsheng. No, Brother Zhang, let me. We agreed I'd be the one to pay today. Don't fight me on this. Lin Xuanhua then raised his hand and pointed to everyone at the table. And all of you, none of you better try and take this from me. The two of them bickered back and forth, but neither of them actually had any intention of pulling out their money. Wang Hu couldn't stand it anymore. Slam! Wang Hu slammed his hand on the table and stood up. Alright, you two, stop arguing, let me. As he said this, Wang Hu let out a huge burp. Instantly, everyone's eyes snapped towards Wang Hu. Even the two young women next to him were no exception. How about I give you two an idea? Since you both want to pay, how about you just split it? Wouldn't it be great if you both paid together? Right, Brother Zhang? Brother Lin. Wang Hu walked over, put his arms around both of their necks, looking at their somewhat stiff expressions, and said with a grin, waiter, the bill. And while you're at it, send a beggar's chicken and a mouth-watering duck. And a jar of newer hong to my room. I'll have them for a midnight snack. Wang Hu turned his head and, with a look of deep affection, spoke to the two men, whose faces looked as if they'd just eaten fly droppings. Well then, thank you so much for your hospitality today, Brother Zhang and Brother Lin. I'm a bit stuffed from all the food today. I'm off to get some rest. Watching Wang Hu's swaying figure depart, everyone else had a strange look on their faces. I've never seen someone so shameless. He says he's stuffed, but still orders so much for a midnight snack. Giggle, miss, that person is so interesting. On the other side, one of the two girls, who looked a bit younger and had a baby face, started to giggle. Yes, he is very interesting. I can't quite figure him out. The slightly older-looking young woman, however, frowned slightly. Waking up early in the morning, Wang Hu stretched lazily. He walked outside with a tiger-like stride. The sun is nice today. Perfect for my cultivation. A short distance from the post house, Wang Hu found a large, green rock, sat cross-legged on it, and began to absorb the primordial energy of heaven and earth, facing the morning sun. Cultivating the 8-9 arcane art, Mei Xin did not sleep peacefully that night. In fact, ever since she was 8 years old, she had rarely had a peaceful night's sleep. As soon as she closed her eyes, she would remember that terrifying person, those terrible dreams. Moreover, her room was not very far from Wang Hu's, so when Wang Hu got up in the morning to go out and cultivate his 8-9 arcane art, woke her up as well. She didn't get up right away. Instead, she waited until Wang Hu's footsteps had faded for a while before getting up, so as not to disturb her still sleeping maid, Lian. She glanced thoughtfully at Wang Hu's room and then also headed outside. It was still early, and she couldn't see Wang Hu anywhere outside. But the golden glow of the morning sun felt rather comfortable on her skin. So this is what it feels like to wake up early. It's so nice. Mei Xin raised her eyebrows. She strolled towards the small woods nearby. Not long after she entered the forest, her ears twitched. From not too far away, she could hear the sound of long, deep breaths. Is someone cultivating? Mei Xin wondered to herself. Instantly, the image of a person appeared in her mind. At this moment, Wang Hu's expression was solemn. The lazy expression that was usually on his face was gone. Every so often, visible streams of energy that looked like little dragons would flow in and out of his nostrils. His breathing was slow, but it had a unique rhythm to it. A faint, thin layer of purple light swirled around Wang Hu, giving him an incredibly ethereal and mysterious aura. Mei Xin was secretly shocked. Purple energy surrounds his body, and his breath is like a dragon. That's a sign of someone cultivating a top-tier Taoist technique. It looks like my guess was right after all. This man, Wang Hu, is definitely no ordinary person. Have you had your fill of looking? Suddenly, Wang Hu's voice rang out from behind her, startling Mei Xin. She had only been staring for a moment, and he had already noticed her. But she wasn't flustered. She turned her head and gave him a charming smile. Her beautiful eyes glanced over Wang Hu's body, and she said with a hint of a playful pout, Brother Wang, you truly hide your skills well. I never expected to find someone like you in a post station in the middle of nowhere. To meet a master such as yourself, Brother Wang. Wang Hu was clearly enjoying the compliment. He coughed lightly, and his expression softened a bit as he spoke. I wouldn't dare call myself a master, beautiful. Miss. Why aren't you in your room sleeping at this early hour? Why are you following me? My name is Mei Shin. I unintentionally disturbed Big Brother Wang's cultivation. It is truly my fault. How about this? I will perform a dance for you, Big Brother Wang. Consider it my apology. Before Wang Hu could refuse, she spread her arms and actually began to dance, just like that. Wang Hu was a bit baffled. What the heck? She said she was going to dance and she just starts dancing? Isn't she being a bit too forward? Could it be, this girl is into me? But come to think of it, this is only the second time we've ever met. Is my charm really that powerful? Did this girl fall for me at first sight? Wang Hu narcissistically stroked his own face. For a moment, he felt a little smug. He had to admit, Mei Shin's dancing was truly beautiful. Even a simple movement, or a single smile held a unique allure. Even for Wang Hu, a soul from the modern era who had been bombarded by television, computers, and all sorts of entertainment programs, he still found himself completely captivated. Was it beautiful? The dance was over. Mei Shin wiped the sweat from her brow and walked over to Wang Hu's side. She asked, her face full of anticipation. He didn't snap out of it until Mei Shin was right beside him, and his face couldn't help but turn a little red. I'm supposed to be a master. How can I be staring at her like a total creep? It was pretty good. Wang Hu tried his best to look nonchalant. He said flatly, then flicked his sleeves. It's getting late, we should head back. He felt he needed to get away from her quickly. This woman, Mei Shin, seemed like a seductive little vixen, no matter how he looked at her. Even though he was the actual tiger demon, he knew that something this unusual had to be a trap. For Mei Shin to be so attentive, fawning over him so humbly, she must have some ulterior motive, and until he figured out what that was, Wang Hu didn't dare get too close to her. After all, his own hands weren't exactly clean. He had stolen so many elixir pills. Those people from the Guanyin Zen temple were surely turning the world upside down looking for him. The two of them didn't talk much on the way back. The same Mei Shin who had just been performing a sultry dance was now like a shy little girl, following behind Wang Hu with her head lowered. They entered the inn one after the other. The young girl who had arrived with Mei Shin yesterday was pacing back and forth, her face etched with anxiety. She had obviously discovered that her lady had suddenly disappeared early in the morning. My lady, where did you go? Leonor was so worried about you, said the little maid, who looked about 14 or 15. She threw herself into Mei Shin's arms, the rims of her eyes slightly red. Silly girl, what are you worried about? Brother Wang and I just went out to discuss something. Mei Shin tapped the little maid's nose and said in a calm voice. Instantly, all eyes focused on Wang Hu, filled with envy, jealousy, and hate. Although no one there said a word, it was as if Wang Hu could hear what they were all thinking. But he was surprisingly thick-skinned, completely oblivious to the murderous stares from the scholars around him. He slung an arm around Zhang Bingsheng's neck and said with a wide smile. Brother Zhang, you look awful. Didn't you sleep well last night? Zhang Bingsheng looked at Wang Hu's concerned face, wishing he could smash that hateful face to a pulp with a single punch. Thank you for your concern, Brother Wang. I'm quite alright, it's getting late, we should hurry and finish breakfast so we can set off. Wang Hu cursed inwardly. You have the nerve to talk about hurrying? It's been more than 10 days since we left Kaoshan town, and we've only covered a little over 100 li. I've never seen such slow progress. Soon, everyone finished eating. And so, they prepared to set off. However, unlike other times, this time there was an extra carriage for the journey, belonging to Mei Shin and her maid, Lian, The two had previously claimed to be heading home to worship their ancestors, but now they were returning to Yingchuan City. Since it was on the same route as Wang Hu and the others, this immediately got all the scholars fired up. Their spirits were incredibly high along the way. In just 3 days, from what Wang Hu could tell, these men had composed dozens of poems. Mei Shin was also extremely tactful. She would smile and praise every poem she was asked to comment on, which made the group even more frenzied, as if they were on a high. Wang Hu, on the other hand, was bored out of his mind and barely left the carriage during the journey. He stayed hidden inside, refining the profound spirit pill to enhance his cultivation. And after what happened at the post house, the others also held some resentment towards Wang Hu, and seemed to automatically ignore his existence. Only Mei Shin would find opportunities, seemingly by chance, to say a few words to Wang Hu, subtly trying to ask about his origins and cultivation level. However, Wang Hu was also somewhat on guard with her, always deflecting with jokes. Therefore, their conversations were few and far between. In the blink of an eye, half a month went by. They drew closer and closer to Yingchuan City. Another day was ending at dusk. The group arrived at a small town to stop for the night. Wang Hu stepped out of the carriage and yawned. He looked around, intending to head into town to find something to eat. Throughout the entire trip, He had been exceptionally passionate and determined when it came to food. No matter where they arrived, the first thing he did was ask about any good local snacks, and then he would be the first to go and feast on them. Not far off, Zhang Bingsheng and the others were discussing a trip to nearby Jinshan Mountain, a famous scenic spot in the vicinity. With its uniquely beautiful peaks and the mighty, flowing river, it was a place of exceptionally beautiful scenery. "Brother Wang, why don't you join us?" Just then, Mei Xin's voice suddenly cut in, startling the few scholars who were busy showing off their literary talents. Wang Hu also stopped in his tracks. This was the first time Mei Xin had ever invited him to anything. Has she finally decided she can't hold back? Is she finally going to tell me what's on her mind? Sure, Wang Hu agreed without hesitation. To be honest, he was still very curious about what Mei Xin wanted his help with. After the past few days, he had also developed a rather good impression of her. Overall, she was a very intelligent and resourceful woman, but her cleverness wasn't off-putting in the least. If he was able to help her, and it wasn't dangerous, Wang Hu was more than willing to lend a hand. Not far away, Zhang Bingsheng and the others looked a bit grim. Countless past experiences told them that nothing good ever happened when Wang Hu was around. Golden Mountain wasn't far. Compared to the surrounding mountains, it wasn't particularly steep. The group ascended the stone steps. Soon, they arrived at a pavilion halfway up the mountain. Looking at Wang Hu and Meixin standing side by side at the very front. Group behind them seemed very resentful. Before Wang Hu was here, Meixin would at least exchange a few words with them, but now that this guy had arrived, Meixin wouldn't even give them a glance. What was so good about this guy? He was greedy and lazy, a smooth talker, with no talent whatsoever. Zhang Bingsheng really couldn't understand. Why would a woman like Meixin always like to hang around a shameless scoundrel like Wang Hu? Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. He had thought of a great plan. Perhaps it would allow Miss Meixin to see Wang Hu's true colors. "Brother Wang, look at this picturesque scenery before us. It's the perfect time to compose a poem. Brother Wang, you were studying so hard in the carriage earlier. Now that you've finally come out, you must show off your skills and broaden the horizons of his humble brothers, wouldn't you agree?" Zhang Bingsheng said with a look of utmost sincerity. "That's right, Brother Wang, please grace us with your talent." Lin Xuanhua and the others behind them quickly chimed in, clearly thinking they had found a chance to make Wang Hu look like a fool. Even Meixin, who was standing beside him, watched Wang Hu with a smile, apparently wanting to see how he would get out of this. Wang Hu curled his lip in disdain, thinking to himself, "You want to see me make a fool of myself? You guys are still too naive. Don't you know your bro here has 5,000 years of brilliant Chinese culture in his head?" Wang Hu put on a look of deep, difficult thought. He stood theatrically in the pavilion, gazing out at the view. And to be fair, the scenery here really was gorgeous. As the sun set in the west, a massive waterfall cascaded down from a distant mountaintop, plunging into a deep pool below. All around, towering mountains rose up, a scene of lush greenery. The sun on Incense Burner Peak creates a purple haze. I see a waterfall from afar, hanging like a river. Its current plunges 3,000 feet straight down. I suspect it is the Milky Way, falling from the 9 heavens. Wang Hu recited Li Bai's, viewing the Lucian waterfall, without a moment's hesitation. The faces of the crowd, who had been waiting to see him make a fool of himself, suddenly stiffened. They were all scholars, so naturally, they understood poetry very well. The moment Wang Hu recited it, everyone instantly recognized it as an excellent poem. What a fine poem! Meixin's eyes sparkled with brilliance. She had always thought Wang Hu was a disciple of that ancient sect. She never expected him to be so talented. Could it be that he really planned to seek fame and fortune in this secular world? Brother Wang, your poem is so catchy and flows so well. The way it describes the scenery is so majestic. It must be a truly excellent piece of writing. However, there are some parts that I don't quite understand. Could you please explain it in detail? Meixin meant well by this. If Wang Hu explained it in public, it would surely bring him even more prestige. Hearing Meixin's words, Wang Hu grimaced. I plagiarized it, okay? What the hell am I supposed to explain? At that moment, all he wanted to say was, can we please not get caught up in the details? Just as Wang Hu was preparing to bite the bullet and try to explain, Zhang Bingsheng, who was beside him, suddenly grabbed his shoulder and said, Brother Wang, your humble brother is deeply impressed by your great talent. But look, these surrounding peaks, range upon range, are also quite beautiful. How about Brother Wang composes another poem, this time based on these mountains?